blame on blank pages.
Today, my presentation is about sociology, presented by Bisaka Pragat and Musika Gondari, Taksina Karni, Sandhya Kumar. Contents Machi, presentation to content Machi, history of sociology, introduction of sociology, why study sociology and importance of sociology, nature of sociology, scope of sociology, relationship between sociology and political science, relationship between sociology and economics, and last Machi, relationship between sociology and computer science. History of sociology. The term sociology was coined by French philosopher Auguste Comte in 1838, who for this reason is known as the father of sociology. Comte felt that science could be used to study the social world. Sociology as a scholarly discipline emerged primarily out of Enlightenment thought as a positivist science of society shortly after the French Revolution. Its genesis on to various key movements in the philosophy of science and the philosophy of knowledge arising in reaction to such issues as modernity, capitalism, organization, rationalization, secularization, colonization, and imperialism. Not only that, he also had helped and hoped to unify all studies of humankind through the scientific understanding of social reality. He always believed all humankind through the distinct historical stage, and that if one could grasp this program, one could prescribe the remedies for social ills. Sociology was to be the queen science in Comte's schema. Auguste Comte, the father of sociology. Auguste Comte is considered by many to be father of sociology. The term sociology was first coined by 1780 by French essayist Emmanuel Joseph Sayes in an unpublished manuscript. Also, the next one is Harriet Martineau, the first woman sociologist. Harriet Martineau was a writer who addressed a wide range of social science issues. She was an early observer of social practices, including economics, social class, religion, suicide, government, and women's rights. The another one is Karl Marx. Karl Marx was one of the founders of sociology. His ideas about social conflict are still relevant today. In 1848, he and Friedrich Engels co-authored the Communist Manifesto. This book is one of the most influential political manuscripts in history. It also presents Marx's theory of society, which differed from what Comte proposed. Herbert Spencer. In 1873, the English philosopher Herbert Spencer published The Study of Sociology, the first book with the term sociology in the title. Spencer rejected much of the Comte's philosophy as well as Marx's theory. Instead, he favored a form of government that allowed market forces to control capitalism. Georg Simmel. Georg Simmel was a German art critic who wrote widely on social and political issues as well. Simmel took an anti-positivism stance and addressed topics such as social conflict, the function of money, individual identity in city life. Some famous sociologists are Karl Marx, Emil Durkheim, Max Weber, Robert Merton, Margaret Mead, Emil Durkheim. Durkheim helped establish sociology as a formal academic discipline by establishing the first European department of sociology at the University of Bordeaux in 1895 and by publishing his rule of the sociology method in 1895. George Herbert Mead. George Herbert Mead was a philosopher and sociologist whose work focused on the ways in which the mind and the self were developed as a result of social processes. Max Weber. Prominent sociologist Max Weber established a sociology department in Germany and Ludwig Maximilians University of Munich in 1990. Weber wrote on many topics related to sociology, including political change in Russia and social forces that affect the factory of workers. So I think now you guys know जुन हामीले सोसियोलोजी पढिरहेका छौँ होइन त्यसको त्यो चाहिँ कहाँबाट कसरी र कसले अरिजिनेट गर्यो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हजुरहरूले बुझिसक्नुभयो होला नाउ इट्स एवर सोसियोलोजी एन्ड आई वान्ट टु कल हिम शिखा भण्डारी टु इन्ट्रोड्युस एवर सोसियोलोजी
Visakha. Now this word is derived from the Latin word companion. The meaning is the study of company. Sociology is the system of societal interest in order to carry out the identify culture and determine how they affect people and groups. They also develop ways to apply their findings to the real. A more formal definition of sociology is that social science which study the truth and pattern of human individual and group in the form of organization of the relationship among them and group on individual behavior and vice versa, and the interaction between one social group and other. So, shortly भन्नुपर्दाखेरि सोसियोलोजी भनेको चाहिँ सोसाइटीको चाहिँ एउटा सिस्टमेटिक स्टडी हो र जसमा चाहिँ अब प्याटर्न अफ सोसियल रिलेसनसिप सोसियल इन्टरेक्सन एन्ड कल्चरहरू पनि पर्छ नेक्स्ट and why study sociology because studying sociology is beneficial both for the individual and for society. By studying sociology, people learn how to think critically about social issues and problems that confront our society. The study of sociology enriches student lives and prepares them for careers in an increasingly diverse world. Society benefits because the people with the sociological training are better prepared to make informed decisions about social issues and take effective action to deal with them. So the हामीले चाहिँ अब सोसियोलोजी सो सो यो चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअल एन्ड सोसाइटी बोथको लागि चाहिँ बेनिफिसियल छ अनि सो हामीले चाहिँ अब सोसियोलोजी स्टडी गरेर चाहिँ हामीले अब सोसाइटीमा हुने इस्युहरू प्रब्लमहरू यिनीहरू सबलाई सबैसँग चाहिँ डिल गर्न सक्छौँ अब यसको स्टडी गरेर अनि नाउ द सम अफ द इम्पोर्टेन्स अफ सोसियोलोजी आर sociology studies society in a scientific way because before the emergence of sociology, there was no systematic and scientific attempt to study the human society with all its complexities. Sociology has made it possible to study the society in a scientific manner. This scientific knowledge about human society is needed in order to achieve progress in the various fields. सो अब सोसियोलोजीले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले सोसाइटीलाई चाहिँ साइन्टिफिक तरिकाले चाहिँ स्टडी गर्न सक्छौँ र अब जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले अब सोसाइटीमा भएको कम्प्लेक्सिटीहरू सँग चाहिँ ह्यान्डल गर्न सक्छौँ अब अहिले हाम्रो अब सोसाइटीमा चाहिँ अब डे बाई डे अब टेक्नोलोजीहरू चाहिँ धेरै इन्क्रिज भइरहेको छ अब जसले गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो सोसाइटीमा धेरै कम्प्लेक्सिटीहरू पनि आउन सक्छ अब त्यसलाई ह्यान्डल गर्नलाई चाहिँ हामीले सोसियोलोजी स्टडी गर्नुपर्छ अनि सोसियोलोजी इमर्ज हुनुभन्दा पहिला चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर त्यस्तो सिस्टमेटिक एन्ड साइन्टिफिक तरिकाले स्टडी गर्ने चाहिँ कुनै पनि त्यस्तो गर्न सकिन्न थियो जसले गर्दाखेरि अब कम्प्लेक्सिटीहरू पनि डिल हुन गाह्रो थियो अनि सो अब नाउ सोसियोलोजी थ्रो मोर लाइट अन द सोसियल नेचर अफ मेन सोसियोलोजी because sociology delves deep into the social nature of man. It tells us why man is a social animal, why he lives in a group, communities and societies. It examines the relationship between the individual and society, the impact of society on men and other matters. So sociology ले गर्दा चाहिँ हामीलाई के थाहा भयो भन्दा चाहिँ किन चाहिँ मान्छे चाहिँ सोशल एनिमल हो किन चाहिँ उ चाहिँ अब ग्रुप कम्युनिटी एन्ड सोसाइटीमा बस्छ अनि यसले गर्दा चाहिँ हामीलाई अब इन्डिभिजुअल र सोसाइटीको रिलेसनसिप कस्तो छ अनि कस्तो इम्प्याक्ट सोसाइटीले कस्तो इम्प्याक्ट त्यो मान्छेमा पारिरहेको छ त्यो थाहा पाउन सक्यौँ सो नेक्स्ट विशाखा Sociology is of great importance in the solution of social problem. The present world is suffering from many problems that can be solved through the scientific study of the society. It is the task of the sociology to study the social problem through the method of scientific research and to find out solution to them. अनि सो अब हाम्रो अहिले सोसाइटीमा त्यो अब धेरै प्रब्लमहरू आइरहेको छ अब त्यो प्रब्लमहरूलाई चाहिँ अब साइन्टिफिक तरिकाले चाहिँ स्टडी गर्छ सोसियोलोजीले अनि अब त्यसलाई त्योसँग कसरी डिल गर्ने कसरी त्यो सोल्युसन प्रोभाइड गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ अब यसले साइन्टिफिक रिसर्चहरू गरेर चाहिँ अब सोल्युसनहरू प्रोभाइड गर्छ अब नाउ द सोसियोलोजी इन्क्रिज द पावर अफ सोसियल एक्सन the science of society assists an individual to understand himself, his capacity, talent, and limitation. It enables him to adjust himself to the environment. Knowledge of society, social groups, social institution, association that function, etc. helps us to lead an effective social life. So the sociology ले गर्दा चाहिँ अब कुनै पनि एउटा इन्डिभिजुअल पर्सनलाई चाहिँ अब उसमा कति क्यापेसिटी छ ट्यालेन्ट छ लिमिटेसन छ त्योहरू पनि थाहा पाउन सजिलो भयो अब यसले गर्दा चाहिँ अब कसरी चाहिँ अब त्यो इन्डिभिजुअल पर्सन चाहिँ अब कसरी एडजस्ट हुने इन्भाइरोमेन्ट सोसाइटीमा कसरी एडजस्ट हुने थाहा हुन्छ र अब सोसाइटीको सोसाइटी सोसियल इन्स्टिट्युसनहरूको नलेजहरू पनि गेन गर्न सकिन्छ अब जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले एउटा इफेक्टिभ सोसियल लाइफ चाहिँ अब त्यो पर्सनले चाहिँ इफेक्टिभ सोसियल लाइफ चाहिँ अब पाउँछ नि त अनि अब नेक्स्ट द सोसियोलोजी स्टडी द रोल अफ द इन्स्टिट्युसन इन द डेभलपमेन्ट अफ द इन्डिभिजुअल होइन यति and it in individual and it is through the sociology that scientific study of the great social institution and the relation of the individual to each is being made. The home and family, the social and education, the church and religion, the state and government, industry and work, the community and association, these are the institutions through which society function. Sociology study them and suggests suitable measure for strengthening them with a view to enable them to serve the individual better. So sociology ले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब विभिन्न इन्स्टिट्युसनहरू जस्तै यो होम एन्ड फ्यामिली सोसियल एन्ड एजुकेसन यिनीहरू बिचको अब रिलेसनहरू स्टडी गर्न सक्यो अब यिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ अझै यिनीहरूको इन्डिभिजुअलमा कसरी यिनीहरूलाई अझै बेटर बनाउन सकिन्छ यिनीहरूको रिलेसनहरू अझै कसरी बेटर गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ अब स्टडी गर्न सकिन्छ सो नाउ फर फर्दर एक्सप्लेनेसन आई लाइक टु कल साक्षी नकर्मी
Thank you, Emsika. Nature of sociology. Sociology is the branch of knowledge and it has its own characteristics. Sociology has different nature in society. The following are main characteristics of sociology as enlisted by Robert Bierstadt in his book Social Order Art. Sociology is an independent science. Sociology is an independent science, so it does not belong to any branch and it has separate study. And it is not treated and studied as a branch of any other science like philosophy or political philosophy or history. As an independent science, sociology has developed its own field of study, boundary, and method. Number 2, sociology is a social science, not a physical science. So, sociology is a social science and not a physical science. Social sciences focus on various aspects of human society, while physical science deals with natural phenomena. As a social science, it concentrates its attention on man, his behavior, social activities, and his social life. Number 3. Sociology is a categorical and not a normative discipline. Sociology confines itself to statements about what it is, not what should be or ought to be. Sociology is value-free. Sociology what is ma matra interested huncha, not what should be or what ought to be ma. Number 4, sociology is a generalizing science and not a particularizing science. Sociology is not interested in particular events, rather it studies events in a general way. It does not study each and every event that takes place in the society, which is not possible also. Sociology tries to find out the general laws or principles about human interaction, nature, content, and structure of human group and societies. Number 5, sociology is a general science, not a special science. Sociology is a general science, not all special science. The area of sociology is general, not specialized. It is concerned with human interaction and human life in general. Sociology is human activities like general way ma study garcha. Now, scope of sociology. Scope means the subject matter or the areas of study or the boundaries of a subject. There are two main schools of thought regarding the scope of sociology. Number one, specialistic school and synthetic school. Number one, specialistic school. The supporters of this school of thought are George Simmel, Max Weber, and von Weiss. The main views of the school regarding the scope of sociology are: number one, scope of sociology is very narrow and limited. It need not study all the events connected with social science. Sociology studies the social relationships. Furthermore, only forms of social relationships are to be studied and not its content. Sociology also focuses on the mental and psychic relationship which links men together in society. Number four, aim of sociology is to interpret and understand social behavior. Next, synthetic school. The supporters of synthetic school are the sociologists like Durkheim, Ginsberg, Auguste Comte. Synthetic school holds the view that sociology is a synthesis of all social science. Sociology should not limit its scope to some social problems. Thus, its scope is very vast. According to this school, sociology should deal with following areas of study. Number one, social morphology. It deals with populations such as social structure, social groups, and institutions. Number two, social control. It deals with formal and informal means of control such as customs, traditions, morals, religions, law, and court, etc. Number three, social process. It includes different modes of social interaction such as conflict, cooperation, isolation, integration, etc. Number four, social pathology. It includes social maladjustment and social problems like poverty, beggary, unemployment, overpopulation, etc. Now I would like to call Sandhya Fuyal for the next topic, which is relationship between sociology and political science.
Thank you, Sakshi. Now I'm going to talk about the relationship of sociology with political science, computer science, and economics. Firstly, I want to talk about the relationship of sociology with political science. Political science and sociology are closely related. Political science is that branch of social science which mostly deals with state government and power. Political science deals with the political activities. It deals with the principle of organization and government of human society. It studied social group organized under the sovereignty of the state. The forms of government, the nature of governmental organs, the laws and sphere of state activities are determined by the social process. Both the sciences are mutually helpful since political activities is only a part of social activities. Political activities influenced by the social life. Politics is, after all, the reflection of the society. Political science gives the fact about the organization and function of state of government. As political science is concerned with the state, sociology also studies state as one of the human association. Without sociology background, the study of political science will be incomplete. There are some points which shows the relationship between sociology and political science. Now I want to describe about it. Social institutions and organizations are regulated by the state government. The state and governments make laws for the welfare of the society. The government removes social evils such as poverty, unemployment, dowry, and so on from the society. The undesirable customs are appropriated from the society by the government. The government gives financial assistance to people at the time of natural calamities such as flood, famine, cyclone. Next. Now I want to talk about the relationship between sociology and economics. Sociology and economics as social science have close relation. Relationship between the two is so close that one is often treated as a branch of the other because society is greatly influenced by economic factors and economic processes are largely determined by the environment of the society. Economic deals with the economic activities of man. It deals with production, consumption, and distribution of wealth. The economic factors play a vital role in the very aspect of our social life. Without economic conditions, the story of society is quite impossible. Economics is influenced by sociology. Now we have some points which describes the relationship between sociology and economics. First point, use of capital for social welfare. We need some criteria of social welfare to evaluate alternative economic situations. In that social welfare to measure, we require ethical standard and interpersonal companion. Next is increase of PCI to achieve quality of life. PCI is per capita income, or we can call it average income. Measures average income on per person in any particular area in a specified year. A country which produces a lot will be able to pay higher wage. PCI is directly proportional to quality of life. If we have greater PCI, then our quality of life will be higher. That means we can offer to buy more plentiful product. Next is use of economy for social security. The view of public for social security and the view of economics for social security is different. Journalists and politicians speaks of social security as if it were a defined contribution pension plan. They talk as if benefits that someone receives from social security reflect that person's contribution to program. Next is unemployment brings social cultural change. Getting employed is considered as a prerequisite to a productive, socially recognized, and complete realization of human labor. In absence of employment, there is the loss of income. It arises economic and social problem. Next. Now I want to talk about the relationship between sociology and computer science. Sociology and computer science have more in common than one might think. Technology has had a significant impact on society and how people communicate and share culture. Human-computer interaction, machine learning, UI design are just a few of the areas that attempt to use information about the way human thinks, understand, and interacts. The points which describe some relationship between sociology and computer science are: first point, computer applications in sociology. The practice of computing in sociology has evolved rapidly. Computers have been applied to practically every research task, including such unlikely ones are field note-taking, interviewing, and hundreds of other tasks. Next is email. Email is electronic communication. Email networks now supplement most other forms of social communication. These are also used to communicate the e-governance and their rules, which may use to take days to implement. Next is sociology and webs. It is not just a technology or a family of technologies, but a rapidly evolving socio-cultural phenomenon, often called cyberspace. No matter how this phenomenon is defined, it is changing the way sociologists work. Next is assessing, retrieving, and managing social data. Large bibliographic database, including sociological abstract and psychological abstract, are in vast amount of data in the form of statistical table and maps on web. Next is partnership between human and technology. We are living in incredibly interesting times when digital transformation is revolutionizing the human landscape. The collaboration of man and machine also supports relation between social and computer science. Next is teaching and learning. During 1970s, long before the microprocessor, a small group of social science instruction began and to explore how to utilize computer technology in teaching. Now it has become common and several sociologically oriented instructional packages are widely used. At last, I want to say that through this all, we get knowledge about sociology, its necessity, its impacts, and its relationship with different terms like computer science, economics. In short, we can say that sociology is that most important part for the study of society and companionship. Thank you.